What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sir Hunt's Reviews. My name's Mark, and I'm here with the latest and greatest official Season 7 images. Now, don't be confused with the last images that were released. Those were just promo pictures. These being titled as official Season 7 pictures, that means these are actual pictures. God, I've said that like 5 times now, but these are actual images that are in probably the first episode of Season 7. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and discuss. Alright, so first up is Arya Stark. She is most likely still at the twins here. I know it's kind of weird that she's not wearing her face, but I don't really think it's Winterfell because she's kind of still wearing the rags that she was wearing last season, and also there's like a bread tray in front of her, so that leads me to think maybe she's still serving the Freys. Maybe she had to get rid of her face that she was using prior when she slit Walder Frey's throat. Maybe she had to get rid of that face because someone spotted her doing so, and maybe she's in the process of transitioning to a new face, and this is her listening in on the announcement being made that Walder Frey is dead. Or she's at home in Winterfell, and she just doesn't really care about looking, the best, because that's not in Arya's nature, and she's listening to Jon give a speech about how winter is coming. Next up, we have Bran Stark and Meera Reed. Now, this is interesting. Remember, I told you, these are official images from likely the first episode. So this is them arriving at the wall. They're likely using that gate, I'm showing you right here, that gate to enter the wall, and we will likely see a first introduction of Bran and Dolorous, I think I said it right, Ed. It will be interesting to see what happens. I think Meera will quickly be sent away. I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, but I think that's going to be how we get to see Howland Reed present day, and maybe we'll get to have him involved with modern day plots, or maybe he'll remember something that Bran didn't know from Tower Joe. I don't know. There's a lot of ifs, ands, buts, or maybes, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think Meera Reed is going to get sent home to her father, and that's how we're going to get to see Howland Reed in modern day. In Westeros. Yeah. Next up is Daenerys. She is my queen, and she is actually in Dragonstone once again. You remember that last teaser pic that we got of her sitting down on her throne? She's in Dragonstone. This is likely when Tyrion, or perhaps Grey Worm or Missandei, someone's coming up to tell her, like, look, we need to go make plans. Maybe this is right when, spoiler alert, click away from this video if you do not want to know anything. Maybe this is right when Jon Snow shows up. Next up, we have Daenerys and her crew. This is Daenerys outside of Dragonstone, and this leads me to believe that this image is exactly what I just said. So, spoiler alert, I'll say it again. This is when Jon Snow first arrives at Dragonstone, and this is Daenerys greeting him outside. So that should be pretty early on. I don't think this image is from episode 1, but it's from the first 3 episodes. We'll say that. Next up is Davos. Davos is actually in Winterfell. So this is most likely from the first episode. We probably have someone coming up to propose something to Jon, because he's obviously sitting at the King in the North's table. I don't know if it has a particular name, but it looks like they're getting a presentation or a speech from someone who's coming up to ask for Jon's aid in some sort of way. Next up, we have Jon fucking Snow himself. I know I'm really excited, and I'm probably like annoying you guys a little bit, but come on, these are official images from the first episode / like first maybe 3 episodes. Jon Snow was in his traditional northern garb. Once again, Longclaw is present in the picture. The same with those promo teasers. Jon Snow was the only one that had a weapon that was visible in those images. So this says a lot about his character going into Season 7, in that he is ready for war. Next up, we have Lyanna Stark. Did I really just say Lyanna Stark? Haha. No, there's a theory that Lyanna will maybe one day marry Jon Snow. I'm not a big advocate of that theory because I think it's a little bit weird, and Jon is not a pedophile. I know a lot of people want them to be together, not because of the age thing, but just because they would make, like, probably Westeros' best power couple. Well, I'm thinking that Jon Snow and Daenerys are going to get together. But anyway, Lyanna Mormont is present in Winterfell, and look who's behind her, that little bastard Littlefinger. So what this is saying here is probably that, well, this is definitely from the first episode. Maybe she stood up to comment on whatever the person who was giving the speech in that image prior with Davos. Maybe she's giving up to interject her opinion, which she is famous for. It's very interesting, the framing of this picture, that we see a red-bearded person, and a lot of people think that, you know what, I'm not even going to go into that, but a lot of people think that Tormund could be her father. Anyway, Littlefinger looks like he is plotting some kind of shit, and I hope she's the one who gets rid of him this season, or she has a hand in getting rid of Peter Baelish this season. I'll do a Peter Baelish impression real quick. Sansa, he's your half-brother, remember? That was pretty good. Next up is Natalie Emmanuel, a.k.a. Missandei. She's the only actress that I've referred to as a real name because she's so friggin' beautiful that, I don't know. But yeah, she is wearing her that same pin that me and Dom commented on last time. It actually kind of looks like the Elder Scrolls emblem. I'll throw that up here right for you guys right now so you can see that. It's pretty interesting, but it's a new take on the three-headed dragon of House Targaryen. It's also, like I was saying, pretty interesting. And it looks, I'm still going to stick with this, her armor is definitely inspired by Grey Worm and the Unsullied. It looks as though she might have gotten her own version of that. You know what I mean? Next up is Sam and Gilly, and they are officially in the library doing work. Sam's even got his, maester robes on. That's pretty amazing. He's writing some shit down. He's probably sending a raven out to Jon like, hey, buddy, I just found out that your parents are Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark. You are not a bastard. You are technically the heir to the kingdom. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it looks like it should be interesting because according to the plot leak, spoiler alert, according to one version of the plot leak, and I'll say spoiler alert again, Gilly is actually the one who discovers Jon's true lineage. Now, I think that you can take that with a grain of salt and toss it out the fucking window, but we can say for certain that Gilly is learning how to read this season. Next up, we have Littlefinger and Sansa Stark. I just want to say Sansa's hair is getting long as shit, and because she didn't dye her hair, they had to put a wig on her, and it looks a little bit ridiculous. This is almost like I know this doesn't really have anything to do with the plot or the story for season 7, but it looks like she is an extra on the set of Lord of the Rings. Like, that is an elven wig if I've ever seen one. But it looks like what we can take away from this, that Littlefinger is still up to his manipulating fucking ways, and he's trying to manipulate Sansa further. This is probably right after Jon left. He stepped up, or if you want to even call it stepped up, but he stood up and he's like, hey, look, he's leaving and he's taking most of your forces and your troops. He's leaving you here to get killed or something. You know how manipulative Littlefinger is. He's back to his old ways, and let's just say I hope he fucking dies miserably this season. I'm not a big fan of Peter Baelish. Next up, we have Sandor Clegane. This confirms that he is actually up north, and he's wearing full northern garb. There's fucking snow falling. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if to the right of him, that looks like that might actually be the sleeve of... I'll let you guess. I'll wait a couple seconds and let you guess. Podrick Payne. That might be Podrick Payne's sleeve. So if that's the case, then that means that Brienne is with the Brotherhood. You know what? Scratch that. Sandor Clegane is headed north, and he's going to be joining Jon Snow's army. Next up, we have the twins. Twincest, the Lannisters. Jaime and Cersei. And it looks like this is right when, spoiler alert again, click away from this video. Honestly, you probably shouldn't have clicked on this video if you didn't want to know anything. But this is right when Euron shows up and offers his prisoner, which is, I'm not going to, I'll leave this part of it out, but, and I'll try not to put too many images up, but he has one of his, I'll say it's either his nephew or his niece. He's got them held as his prisoner as almost like a token, like, look, fuck Daenerys and her crew. I want to be on your side. I want to do everything possible to help you rule Westeros, you know? And he's obviously doing like a double backstabbing because Euron is the fucking man in the books, not in the TV show. Next up, we have, oh my God, this probably should have been the first image, and this is definitely going to be the thumbnail. This is Brienne and Tormund. And it looks like Tormund just said something fucking funny because he's got that look on his face. He's probably like, want to go have sex? I don't know. I couldn't think of anything clever. And obviously, I recorded this video all in one take. But yeah, it's going down this season. I honestly want her to be with Jaime because obviously that's where the story's been headed for a while now. And they're obviously in love with each other. And they're kind of playing like that will they, won't they game. But Tormund is a lot more direct. And I'm sure that he would love to have a woman who is taller than him. And judging by this image, you can obviously see that Brienne of Tarth is taller. And I just want to congratulate myself. She is, in fact, wearing her same armor that Jaime gave her. She just got a new chainmail set underneath. But yeah, next up, we have Tyrion the Pimp. I say pimp, not imp, because it's disrespectful. But this is right when Jon Snow shows up. He's got that look of, you know, you can either take it as like, what's next, or what the hell are you doing here? But honestly, I think that this is right when Jon Snow shows up and he's like looking at a familiar face and he's like, wow, man, you've changed a lot. You've got a full beard now. We can be beard brothers. Next up is Varys. And if you notice, Varys' attire is rimmed in fur, meaning that winter is here. Winter is coming. There have been several really good videos recently about Varys and what he heard in the flames, and I want to offer my own take on that, but I want to give a shout out to Smokescreen because his video was pretty fucking straightforward about it. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel if you want to know what Varys might have heard in the flames. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. The like goal for this video will be a staggering 13, and I'm actually going to add something new to this video. I want to have a dislike goal of less than 10. We'll see about that. We'll have a like goal and a dislike goal. So the like goal is 10 and the dislike goal is 10. How about that? If you would like to enter my contest for the Daenerys Dark Horse giveaway for once I reach 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, all you have to do to enter this giveaway is like this video, comment down below, subscribe to me here on YouTube, and go over onto Twitter and follow me. If you do those things, you will be entered into the drawing, and I will select a winner as soon as I hit 10,000 subscribers. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews.